I'm Tiffany Boyte West. I'm the dealer manager for Boyte Honda. We own two Honda dealerships in Mississippi, and I operate those. And hopefully, we're growing as well.
I'm Andrew West, originally from Tayport, Scotland. Moved over to the States in 2012 to play soccer. Landed at Belhaven University. Met Tiffany in about February, March time of 2017. Had no idea I would end up in the car business until I went to ask for her hand in marriage from her father, and that was it. Next thing I knew, I was in the car business. We got married. We went through a journey with Positive Steps, and we're in a place right now where we couldn't be happier. We're very, very, very proud mom and dads right now.
When we first got married, we pretty much started trying right away for a family. I had my ovary removed probably about 10 years ago, I would say. And so after we got married, that's why we took the initial effort to go ahead and start trying for a family. I'm 33, Andrew's 32, so we're not getting any younger. And of course, when we started, we it wasn't coming naturally like it does for most that you hear about. We really did some research and tried to dive into what was going on, and that's how we found Positive Steps. We went through actually 7 IUIs because we didn't know enough about IVF, and it scared me. It scared me because I thought that we were going to be people who wanted children so badly but never had the opportunity to be parents. And I was blaming myself with the one ovary, and I know Andrew was probably blaming himself for a low sperm count. And I actually remember talking to one of the staff members at Positive Steps one day for over an hour. I was sitting on the phone actually at a furniture store with, and she was just talking me down and constantly just reaffirming that this is going to happen, this is a process, this is your journey. And after that conversation, we began IVF. The best thing I like to describe going through IVF before, during, and after is like when you're on a roller coaster. You're going up, you're going down, you're on Space Mountain, so you don't know where the next turn is and what's going to happen to you next. But it's one of those like fearless moments where when you're at the top and you know you're about to drop, you just put your hands up and you don't grab the bar. You feel invincible once you're finally past it all because you feel like you've gone through it all. I did some research. I read reviews, and really, we went to Positive Steps for a visit and for a consultation initially. We didn't go there knowing that we were going to be a part of their family. The decision was made as soon as we left. I remember we looked at each other in the car and said, "This is where we're going to be." Yep. Once the what ifs start in your head, they multiply, and then you start researching online, and then you are scared to death. So I mean, once that initial research and everything happened, and after a few months of tracking ovulation and everything, we were concerned. Then the questions came: do we freeze eggs? What does that look like? Does my body make eggs? What about your sperm count? So those kind of questions hit us. And when we really couldn't figure anything out, we were like, we need some help. So that's when we started researching where do we go from here? What do we need to do? And that's when IUI, IVF, all of those other alternatives popped up. And that's what led us to Positive Steps.
Mm-hmm. As a male, you don't think it's you. Both of us felt the same emotion. It didn't grow us any further apart. It just made us worried, anxious, and for a while we weren't sure what to do, where to go, what was going to happen. Were we just going to be a married couple for the rest of our life and not have babies? That was decided on almost immediately, to where we knew we wanted to grow our family. And the next thing from there was, well, how do we do that?
I am somewhat of a control freak. And we were just trying to figure it out. And I was trying to wrap my head around it. And I remember just feeling so helpless and at times useless. And I would beat myself up over things and I would overthink everything. I would try to figure out why I couldn't do this. Yeah, I knew that I had one ovary, but come to find out later down the road, I also had PCOS. So, what my body was doing was overproducing eggs, and those eggs ended up, they were fighting for space. And so, what my body was trying to overcompensate for in true Tiffany style, it was overdoing it to where I was actually hurting myself more than helping our situation. Um, and I wouldn't have known any of that had we not gone to see Dr. Parry. I mean, it's so fun now because this community of people who are going through IUI and IVF, and I've met so many people along the way, but every now and then I'll have a friend reach out and say, I have a friend that's going through IVF, and I know that you've gone through this, and you like helping people with your journey and sharing your journey. So do you mind talking to her? And I've met some incredible women along the way that, this is it should be more normalized than it actually is, and it's not an embarrassing thing. It's not something to be ashamed of. And I think that's what I had to understand about the entire process. Was I was so confused as to, like, am I supposed to be embarrassed about this? Am I supposed to hide this? Am I not supposed to talk about my journey? I mean, I'm broken. Is that okay? And once you go on the other side, all you want to do is help people and let them know this is a lot more normal than you think. This is what to expect. This is what you can get at the end of the day. And ultimately, it's just about pushing through and not giving up. On implantation day, we walked in, we picked just the healthiest embryo that we had. 2 weeks after, you basically find out you're pregnant, but they do tell you that day of implantation, you basically treat your body like you're pregnant this day. 2 weeks later, I got a call while we were in Ocean Springs, and they said, your numbers look great, you're pregnant. Well, Positive Steps is like coming home to family. It really is. I mean, that's just, they're warm, they're inviting, they made us feel at home on this crazy, scary roller coaster journey. It's like we had someone holding our hand the whole way. And no doctor is ever going to sit on the phone with you for an hour and a half as you rant and rave about the same thing over and over again. And they did that for us. They were there for us every step of the way.
Positive steps for me, when you go to, something that's an important part of your life for the first time, and it's extremely nerve-wracking, and it didn't really feel like that for us. We were welcomed in, and immediately you could tell that there was empathy towards us, there was care towards us. They wanted us to get to our end goal, which was ultimately having a kid.
Also, too, they were very thorough as well. I remember the first day that we went in before IUI and IVF even was a thought. We did the Parry scope, and Dr. Parry actually created that. But it's a test to see, basically, to make sure that all your tubes, everything's being sent to the proper areas so you're able to get pregnant. So that was like our first introduction to it. And we immediately knew that they were all brilliant. So, this is Myles Boyte. He wants to touch the candle. He will be 5 months on the 20th of this month. I tell everyone that our journey with Positive Steps was so amazing. I just, don't waste your time. Just go straight to Positive Steps. And I mean, it's such a great environment. The people are amazing. They're so smart. And, ultimately what we were afraid of, they fixed it for us. And now we got our perfect angel buddy.